Well, hello everybody. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Sorry about last week. Only a little sorry though. Last week was the anniversary with the wife, so can't stream on such an important day. But we're back. We're back. How's everyone been? What have you been up to? What have you been working on? I feel like my hair is all over the place today. Whatever, it's fine. Robert Atkins is here. Kyle is here. Blind PC guy is there. Was there a wild Mika Han somewhere, maybe? I don't know. Didn't see that one. Mark is here. Ironweeds, Music to Motion, Brian Wallace. All the usual people. Oh, thank you, Robert. So, the postponed show from last week is what we're going to do today, and that is editing and comping acoustic drums that were recorded using layers inside Studio One. Mark Hawley recorded 15 songs of drums last weekend, so what we're going to do today is going to be perfect for you, Mark. And by all means, Mark, let us know some of your workflow when you're working on your drums, or everybody else, of course, share your workflow. I'm going to show you some of mine, how, some of the things that I'm looking for, some of the things I'm listening for as well. That's the important part. So let me tell you a little bit about the track we're working on. It's actually something that I'm working on. It was recorded in here about a week after I got these electric drums. I broke them down and I brought the acoustic drums out, and I did something in here for something that's coming up relatively soon for you guys. You'll see it soon. But this is actually something I need to do for that thing, is we need to edit the drums. Now, I kind of made everything up on the spot, but I had a general idea of what I was going for. And I was messing around and having fun. So you'll hear my bad playing. It was me recording myself. So I had the iPad over there so I could hit record on it and navigate around. But there's minor discrepancies in input volumes, which we can take care of later. That's not a big problem. If I'm looking at it real quick right now, I need to get the mixer out of the way over here. I'm looking at it. You'll see it in a second. My kick drum's too low. My snare drum's a little hot. That could probably come down. One overhead is louder than the other. So there's a few things that we'll take care of. And that's just for input volumes and things like that. But really we need to get a good take, make a good song with these acoustic drums. So we need to edit these things together. We need to comp using our layers and then blend it all in nicely. So I think that's what we're going to handle today. What do I think? That's what we're going to handle today. Thomas Melkerson's here. Billy Morgan. More people walking in. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Let's see. Blind PC Guy. I just bought my first set of drum mics and a month of Sphere and audio interface recently. This will be good to learn. Yes. I will say this now. It is a tedious process. It can be a longer process, but it is a very vital process that needs to happen, because you want to make sure that it's the best sound. You want to make sure that your recordings are the best sounding. Did you use the remote control app thingy for Studio One? Love that thing. Yes, Brian, I did. You probably can't see it, but there isn't right about here. There is an iPad, and I just had the remote app. I logged in from over there, was able to navigate around, use a couple of the hotkeys. I haven't customized it at all. I just used it straight out of the box, and it worked great. I was able to navigate around, record, go back, punch in, punch out, things like that. It was really good. And there's that Mika Han. And Ziggy's here as well. We're talking gear already, finding out which interface Blind PC Guy went with. The mics he got were the cheap Pile Pro mic kit. You know what? Sometimes that's all you need. You need something to get you going. And then as you keep progressing and you get better and better, the tools you have, you can use them better. And when you find the weakest link in your chain and you're working on all these things, you can start setting money aside to upgrade those things. So just getting stuff to get you going is the way to go. So happy for you, PC guy. Oh, everybody's saying hi. What? Everybody's, oh, we're all back. We're back together. Getting the band back together, guys. This is cool. Your favorite flavor? This is the best flavor. It's orange pineapple seltzer, sparkling water, whatever you want to call it. From Wegmans. Yes, it's really good. Orange pineapple. It's awesome. And then let's see, Blind PC Guy went with the Tascam 1608. Nice. Those are solid little units, man. Good. Pile Pro equals Samson. Again, doesn't matter. Maybe. It probably is all the same stuff. It's coming out of the same factory anyway. But you know what? He's got the stuff. He's working towards a goal. Everybody here is happy for you, Blind PC Guy. Beer is a better flavor. Sometimes. Sometimes it absolutely is. If it doesn't sound good, you can always use samples. Could, yes. Or you can really learn your tools. I'm not against samples. I use samples all the time. Just saying. I've heard people making a Hello Kitty kit and then replacing it with samples. Yeah, I mean, for silly things, you absolutely could do it. So let's get into it. Let's get into our drum editing. I gotta move something real quick there. Okay, boop, there's the button. So here we go, inside Studio One. And I've already done this beforehand. Big mouse, so you guys can see it better. Keyboard shortcuts. Thinking ahead, guys. Thinking ahead. Why am I there? I want to be back at the beginning of the song. Why are you locating to the end marker? That's so weird. A bunch of weird things happening in here recently, but no big deal. So, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to mute out the bass and the guitars because honestly, right now, we don't need them. All we need are the drums. And I'm going to try and favor, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get rid of the inspector too. I'm going to favor kind of the left side of the screen so you guys can see everything. I know my face is here and in the way a lot of the times, but whatever. Yeah, no, I know, Mika. Samson is just fine. They get the job done. I, mixed this song where some guy recorded his vocals on a Samson and it sounded fine. It's having sample rate issue with it on Windows a couple weeks ago. Finally found out where the software on the slider got it working with Windows with nice low latency. Awesome, PC guy. Bop's here. The mics I'm getting are even cheaper. You gotta start somewhere. You just get whatever you can. Yeah, or you get little things here and there. You mix and match. You know, if you're recording drums and you don't do it all the time, yes, just mix and match. You'll be fine. Okay, so let's go over. This is kind of a follow-up to the video I put out about how to edit multi-track drums, but in this instance, we actually have the benefit of having multiple takes because I recorded it here, and I needed to punch in on spots. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all these guys. I held shift when I did that. I'm going to make a group. I'm going to call them drums. It's just going to make things a little bit easier. Now, I am going to zoom all the way out so you guys can see everything. And then I'm going to do this keyboard shortcut, which for me is Command Option on the Mac. Or, I mean, this is my keyboard shortcut, so you guys can make one for yourself. But it's expanding layers. So now you guys can see I punched in a lot because I kept messing up. It's easiest to see it on the kick and snare. Here's my kicks, and here's all my kick layers. You can see there's a couple underneath my head over here. And underneath that are my snares and my snare layers. So one thing I'm going to do when I'm approaching this is, even if the timing is off at first, I want to get the take that has the best hits all the way through as much as I can. So you can see, like right here, I punched in to redo this section. Maybe I did it a little better in the previous one, or I missed a hit or something. If I can just go back, steal a sound from another take, and then drop it in, cool. Thankfully, thankfully, in Studio One, comping is pretty easy. If I want to promote a whole take, I can just hit this button right here. This little up arrow button is going to promote a layer to the top, and that's going to be your main layer. Although I have a layer already in at the top, which maybe what we should do is just add a new layer, which I think I am going to do. Cool. So now I have a comp layer, basically. I've taken all my layers and I pushed them down so that we can't hear them. But now all of my drums are empty. But obviously we need to steal some stuff in. I know I did a little hi-hat thingy and I only did it on one take. So I'm just going to steal that real quick and literally dragged it out with my mouse. And it promoted it to the top layer. And this is the little hi-hat thing I'm talking about. You can slide this around and say, okay, well, I want everything up to here, and this is my main layer. So when I hit play, after I fast forward a bit because I waited a little bit for like an intro, I messed up a little bit there, but we'll take care of that. I'm also going to turn it up slightly in here. And then nothing, because there's nothing else on that top layer. And now we can go in and start previewing things. I scrolled back up to the kick drum and everything's grouped, so it's all going to work the same. If I want to listen to just a single layer, I can navigate up and down and hit S on my keyboard to then solo one layer, and now when I go up and down, I can listen and preview just that layer. Is that making sense? So like right now, we're listening to kick one, which has a bunch of different punch-ins and all this other stuff. That's what's going on there. If I only want to listen to what's going on in take one, I can just hit down on my keyboard, and now we're only going to listen to what's happening in take one. But that's for all of the drums. So this should also have that hi-hat because I think it was only on take one. But we're going to fast forward anyway. So we're listening to here, even though we haven't promoted it yet. So it's not our comp, but it is there. Solo is following the selection. Is there a setting for that somewhere? Yes. In your main edit window, under the wrench, should be solo follows selection. Otherwise, if that was off, and I'm just going to turn it off, if I went down, all I would need to do is a 2 keystroke thing where I just am going down, I'm hitting S on the keyboard, I'm going up, I'm hitting S, things like that. But if you have, whoops, get out of here, solo follows selection, now as I just navigate up and down, this solo travels with it. Cool? Cool. Let me catch up with you guys real. That's a lot of layers. Bop. Really out of practice drummer. But I needed to do a thing, so I brought them out and I did it anyway. Just catching up with you guys real quick. Already laughing at the track labeled Room Fig 9. Is it Fig 9? It should be Fig 8. Room Fig 8. That is because I did a little mid-side recording. I have a video on that if you need to know how to set that stuff up. But I did a mid-side room in here just to see how it would sound. Not bad. I use this mic, by the way, 414. Everybody's talking about sample rates, which is cool. I run everything at 48, in case anybody's curious. Thanks. Wanted to be sure folks knew it was there. Thank you, Music to Motion. Appreciate you calling out the things like that are important. Really hate setting what this would be the only thing I use it for. I've been clicking the mouse like Fig 8, then Fig 9. Because I'll tell you exactly why. Because I duplicated the track. You need to if you're doing a mid-side stuff. But that does make sense. Yes, Mika, there is probably a keyboard shortcut for solo follow selection. You can assign one. I just don't have one assigned. That's not a default, by the way, too. So, all right, let's start listening to some drums. I was very confident, and I only did one take of the beginning of the song. So easily, I can pull everything up to here, and it's all promoted to my main layer. Easy. And I could do this as well, where I can come here. I can just stretch this out as well. Does the same thing. It's the same layer. And it's the same for what it says, kick in 1 and kick in take 1. Those are the same. I was doing, I have this setting on when you come down here to this little cog wheel. Record mode takes to layers. So I just punched in from bar 31 and it put it on a different take, even though, on a different layer. So that's why, I was doing stuff in layer 1 and then went back and punched in and it put it onto layer 2. It's a lot going on. But this is important. It takes the layers. Okay, go away. There we go. So now we know we have all of this. And I don't have the click track on because it's not important right now. We'll get to that in a little bit. I don't have anything to replace any of this section, so we move on. Let's move on to the next section. So now here is where the solo is going to kind of be more important. Because when we go past bar 31, we're going to continue listening to take 1, even though take 2 exists. And now we get to comping. So if we want to listen to take 2, well, I know I like that snare roll, so I'm just going to zoom in and find that, which is right here. But I think, at least until that crash, I do like. So I'm going to go back a little, and then I'm going to promote the rest of this. So now let's listen, because we're using 2 different takes now. Let's take a listen to how they're going to blend together. We need to get out of solo, and now we're only going to listen to our main comp layer. That's why S on your keyboard, you can leave your hands on the keyboard. S on the keyboard is going to be your best friend because you can go in and out and audition as much as you need. Cool. So we don't need, this is the same take. So I don't need 2 different events. I can just stretch this one out. But listen to the transition here. It's nearly seamless. We have to make slight adjustments. The attack is just starting on 1. It's really hard to hear, but it's like you can hear double transients. It's very slight. So, easy thing to do. Grab your crossfade. Everything's grouped, so it's all going to go together. And just slide it slightly over. So now, if we listen back, just make sure you're not destroying anything So I'm listening to the ring of the snare. I want to make sure I'm not totally choking that out with this moved crossfade. Which I think we're good. Cool, it still rings. So I'm fine with that. Now we go back to soloing our layer. So we're listening to take 2, and we're gonna start from that snare build, and there should be a crash, and we go from there. Okay, let's see what we did on take 1. In take 1, I can hear that I wasn't confident in what I was playing. So if I go back to, I'm going to listen to take 1 again, and then we'll quick go to take 2. Okay, so everything up to bar 47 seems fine. Let me just grab and drag underneath my head that you can't see. But everything up until bar 47 seems pretty good to me. Sorry, I think I have an eyelash in my eye. The slight timing things and little hiccups we're going to fix in a bit. We're going to try and comp real quick, and then we'll fix that. Okay, that's that one. Let's listen from bar 46. But really, I'm listening after bar 47. Slight little mess up with the fill. But again, we have to use what we have. See? And that's why we comp. Is because of mess ups like that where you just stop playing because you go, what do I do here? Get out of here. So, let's roll this back a little bit. Let's see, we stop playing around bar 58, and then we steal from here. So now let's listen to this transition. Oops, out of solo. So now we have a struggle because in take 2, we hit a crash cymbal, but in take 1, we didn't hit the crash cymbal at that same time. How do we fix this? So there's a few things that we can do to fix that. And what I think we're going to do is we're just going to skip it for now. Because what we can do is try and find something similar to this later in the song and fly it back here. And I think that's going to be the best move. So what we can do is we come up here, fly, crash, hit. This is a marker letting us know we have to fly a crash hit into this bar here. So ignoring that, okay, so from there seems pretty good. Take 2 seems to be the best from there. Again, there's a crash cymbal in take 1. So what we can do is just move our edit. Whoop. So now we've moved the edit, which is underneath my head. Again, I'm going to try and favor the left side. We've moved the edit further to let that crash cymbal decay out. And we're not just choking it with a bad edit. We're making it seamless. You can't hear where it is. So that right there again, at this next edit, we're choking out the attack of the kick. So we just take this, slide it back slightly. So we get the whole transient. Okay, so far everything seems pretty solid. Okay, everything up until bar 75 seems pretty good so far. Let's go to you guys real quick and see what we got going on, making sure I'm not losing anybody. Did you rename them take 1, 2, 3, etc.? Or does it automatically call them those takes? It automatically does that unless you put in a different name. When I go, I have a keyboard shortcut. Whoop. If I want to add a new layer, which I'll just do it the manual way, right click, layers, add layer. You'll get this dialog box right here, and then you can name it yourself. It will put those numbers in, and so it will automatically know if you're doing the next one. So it would be layer 10 or layer 11, etc., etc., etc. You can go in and rename and say like, okay, well, this is going to be my comp layer. So there you go. I don't need that layer right now, so I'm just going to get rid of it. What is playing? All layers? No, right now we're just listening to our main layer. But Bob, you joined slightly late. If you have solo follows selection on, then when you click, I have all of my drums grouped together, so I can just use the arrows to navigate up and down, and then I can just hit S on my keyboard to solo out a layer. And then you would listen to that layer, not your main comp. I put in a blank layer so that we could comp these drums together. And then that's what we're just doing now. We're using just the standard tools in Studio One to highlight a layer and bump it up. So now we're going to another punch-in area at bar 75. We can see I have 3 takes now, but takes 1 and 2 start to give up around here. So easy enough. We could just do that. And everything is, all the takes are following the colors. So you'll see, I'm going to change take 3 to like red. And then if we undo that and do it, make that red again. Let's see, bar 90, it's good enough. So the colors will come up in our comp. And if we're not looking at all of our layers, you'll see just this one, because I only did it on kick drum, is a different color. So let's just undo some stuff real quick. Okay, zooming back in. Where did I give up over here? Let's say I gave up around here, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer. So we just need to fill in this section. And now we'll listen to just our takes from bar 74. Okay, let's listen to the new take. Okay, it's actually not bad. What we can do is I can stretch out this guy a little bit and then take over from there into a different take. Sorry, solo. So there was a bad edit because it's like a little double hit. Let's see what happens if we go like that. And there's a weird drum. I think I missed the snare. So now I've tried going earlier. Let's just try going later and replacing that snare hit with a good one. There's a crash cymbal, so compensate for the crash, go way out. Bad edit spot, slide over slightly. I held shift as I was sliding this edit so that I wasn't locked to the grid. Shift will temporarily disable your grid when you're doing edits like this. So instead of it snapping to my quarter note grid, which I currently have on, I can hold shift, I can click and hold, then press shift, and I can temporarily disable the grid. So a little hiccup there. Maybe if we go ever so slightly closer, and then I just want to make sure that I'm not getting in the range of like double transients or anything like that. I'm gonna get right up to it. Okay. I'm liking everything so far. Let's keep going. Ooh, missed a hit there. It's like 2 crashes and then I changed over to the ride. So I'm curious if I come back and go right from here. That might not be bad. Let's try to pull from here. We're just jumping back and forth between layers. Okay, so far everything seems pretty good. We'll do that. And then I'm just gonna slide this over. This is the same layer. You know, it's not this, it's the colors, I know they're different, or they're too similar. I hear you. Trust me, it's same layer. Okay, so looking at things, just visually looking at it, I don't need to confirm anything. This guy's got to come all the way over, pretty much. Because I stopped here, I punched it in, and that's my snare. So yeah, I have to commit with whatever this is. Okay, so there's a pattern change here that I don't think I meant to do. So right at bar 91, pattern swap. And that's what we're gonna take from 95. Take from here. So I'm just gonna find 4 bars and then I'm gonna fly them in a little bit. Let's finish our comps first. We can fast forward, although I do want to hear what's happening over here. Okay, it's a tom build. Okay, we got a tom build. Colors confuse me. I hear you, Bob. I'm just catching up with you guys real quick. Yes, Midnight Bar. Music in Motion, if you haven't already, put the link to Midnight Bar in there so that people who want to talk about editing drums or whatever can join the Midnight Bar. Speaking of joining things, if you haven't done so already, where is he? Why don't you join the Discord? There's a link in the description. Hop in, join the conversation, talk about editing drums, talk about editing guitar, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to learn some stuff? You want to come up with video ideas? You want to work together? Join the Discord. We have channels for all that stuff. Come hang out. It's a growing community and we need your help. So now we continue comping. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're listening to layer 3. I want to hear what's going on, and it sounds like layer 2 might take over. So, oh, it's because I had that one selected. Okay, So I can go all the way up to here, and I think I'm going to take over from here. And now let's listen. That's something. I wonder if I can do this. Maybe not. Maybe not. This could be a little trickery we got going on. Oh, gotta watch that hat. Let's come back just a hit. I think this is what we're working with. And looking at everything, that's what we got. So that's what we're working with. It's punk rock. Give the guy a break. Let's keep going. We got nothing. So easy comp. That goes all the way to there. And then, looks like I messed up the ending of the song a bunch. This is all snares. Don't worry about that. You can just do all this visually. You can listen to it, but you can do it visually. I don't have anything else going on, so clearly this is the winner. Duh. But now you can actually see the colors kind of coming in. There's some couple greens. There's a yellow. So let's fast forward and finish this comp. Okay, we'll start from bar 133. And nobody's playing, so we should start with this guy. Nothing. I'm gonna stop myself because really, one, what is this? Two, let's start. If you have a bunch of layers of the same section, most likely the ones towards the bottom are the ones that happen later and are probably closer to being the ones that are going to be your keepers. You may have something great in an earlier take, and that's why you have multiple takes. But I'm going to guess that one of these is probably the way to go. That's my guess. Whoop. Let's steal this guy for now. See? There's our colors. Yes, comps have changed. Unsolo. Let's listen. All right, so we're going to have to figure something out up until 139. I wonder if we can just whoop, go like that. Something in there is a little off. Something in here is slightly off. Other than the timing, we're going to fix timing. So there is a little bit of a miss hit. So let's try grabbing 2 bars from a different take. Symbols changed. You always have to listen to what's happening through the whole thing. I'm not just comping the kick drum right now. Everything's grouped, so it all happens together. Wonder what happens if we come back from here. Not bad. We choked a snare out. There's still too much of a change in how those cymbals are ringing out. You can hear it. So let's try going to the bar, or slightly before, it looks like. There's still, I think what I'm going to have to do is just whoosh, commit to this one to the end so that there's a consistency in that cymbal ring out. That's what I'm listening to now, is the cymbals ringing out. There's some timing things happening in this 145 bar. So I wonder if I can steal, it's really, let's try a different bar. That's pretty close. See if we can find a better seam to kind of blend these in. Not quite. Let's come back a little. And then we just need to fix that initial hit. Ooh, there's like a slight little like suck out. So let's try moving that over here, which is underneath my face. Ooh, that seems way better. We're looking at right here. Okay, so now let's just see if we can get a real clean of those toms going down. So here is my rack tom. See, like in the first few takes, I just did simple racks. But let's try these guys. All the way back up. Okay, that cutoff at the end, I'm not worried about. I can find that tail out of the cymbal somewhere else. I'm just listening to the tom. Shigga-digga-digga-boom. Not bad. Not bad. Can try this one. Undo to listen to our previous selection. Undoing again to hear our first. So really what we could be doing is soloing the takes and slight mess up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two from my rack toms, and I think I'm going to take these ones from my floor toms. And I will take solo out, and let's listen to what we did. Not too shabby. Not. And who are we even listening to at the end there? This is what we want. Let's come back a little. I would say that are some comped drums. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's that bad. We're going to work on the timing next, but as a general take, we've gone in and we've selected the best little bits here and there. And you can see it doesn't have to be exactly on a bar. It doesn't have to be, you know, a whole section. It could just be little snippets from all over. You can't really, like, you guys can kind of see it next to me over here. You know, oh, look at all the different colors we got going on. And let's just do this. Look at all those different colors we got going on. That's all of our different takes comped together. And now we have a whole drum kit. So let's look to you guys and see what's going on. How can you keep track of so many layers all at one listen? Because I'm listening for the best parts, and I'm listening for everything that's happening in the best parts, Bob. So that's why I was like, oh, well, the cymbals have changed here. So if I'm riding on a crash cymbal in one take and in a different take, I was on a hi-hat, you're going to hear that change. So I'm just listening to everything and making choices by what I hear, not by what I see, but by what I hear. Snare is late. Better. Then you get phase issues. Yes, there's that. There's some of that too. What I do here later down the road is just nudge. Yeah, we haven't done any timing things yet there, Bops. All we've done is gotten the best takes comped together of what's available. Then we're going to work on timing and kind of putting it closer to the grid. Maybe locked in. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it was already addressed, but I notice you have snap to grid engaged, but the cursor is not aligning to the grid by default. Are you pressing something to disengage it, or does it apply with layers? So let's go back to here. It is snapping, but if I hold shift, it temporarily disables the grid. So I'm holding shift now and I'm not snapping in. Like if I change my grid to whole notes, I mean, it's still kind of locking a bit. But if I hold shift, I can go anywhere in all of this. Let's see, can I? Yeah, you see how it's like snapping to right now? And then I can't hold shift because that's a different keyboard shortcut. But when I hold shift, it just glides through. Temporarily disables. Shift is a great thing. So I hope that answers your question, Brian. I am just going to change my grid real quick and come back to you guys to catch any of your questions. It could also be that I was zoomed in. And yes, I do have my grid was at quarter notes. Changed it to whole notes for that demonstration. Now I'm on in for eighth notes. Somewhere else studio. Yeah, he's using the hold shift. Exactly. And also, welcome to the show. That's a new name, Somewhere Else. Welcome. Brian Wallace. Yep, we did that. Had never seen this done. Glad I did. Ta-da! Learning something new every day. Right, guys? Right. Oh, what's with all those dropped frames? Sorry, I'm just looking at my stats. It's so weird. So weird. All right. Timing. Step 1 done. Make sure everything's cool. Step 2. Well, really, I guess, step 0.5. Get a not totally out of practice drummer to do the thing. Right? If you have that ability, do it. All right, let's take a look at some of our edits. We made our little notes. Fly, crash, hit. Aha. Over here somewhere. Yep, right at bar 71. And so, ready for this? I'm not looking at my layers anymore. I'm done with layers. I don't need to. What I can actually do, and why not, I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, which is Command Shift and /. That's going to duplicate my current layer, and I'm doing this as a safety precaution. When I screw up, I have a backup. Duplicate. This automatically expands your layers. That's why I have the keyboard shortcut for me, which is Command and Option and the down arrow to collapse or expand my layers. Now I can literally just grab everybody. So this is, I've held down Shift, and because everything's in a folder, I just clicked on the folder tracks to select everybody. And yes, there are already teeny tiny little crossfades. That's something that Studio One does when you use layers for your comping. When you select things in, it will automatically put a crossfade into all of your edits. Moving this one over, you can see teeny tiny crossfade. Going over to this one. Where are you? Hang on. Teeny tiny crossfade. Maybe we'll, oops. Maybe we'll move this one ever so slightly. I just want to see what's going on here. So yeah, I needed to do that because otherwise I would have clipped off that kick drum. So this is another important thing. Check your edits. Make sure you're not choking yourself out. Locate. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Okay. And now I'm just going to use my arrows at L. Zoom way in. Looks pretty good. This one, L, zoom way in. Definitely not choking anything. Let's see what we can get away with. I want that crossfade as close to that as possible. Check your work. Listen. It's cool by me. Let's see. Where were we? Over here. Locate. Aha. Grab those, let's grab those. Create a little area to do our crossfade. Let's see. These are now going to snap so that I can get this tool. So when you're in the middle, you get this tool where you just grab the edge of one of them. But if they're snapped on a grid marker and you go to the bottom, you can see the arrows shift towards the bottom. And now I'm just gonna move, I'm going to slide both events. And I just want to make sure. Let's go to here. Lovely. That's what I want. Let's locate. You guys. X. There's my crossfade. Right? You guys are seeing all this. I'm zooming in. I'm moving stuff around. Cool. Right? You guys let me know if I'm losing anybody. You know, make sure you tag me so I can see it. I can see it easier because I'm just kind of like glancing over. When we take little breaks, I come back and talk to you guys. Let's see, where's our next one? Over here, locate. Zoom way in. Where can we get away with our crossfade? Right, I want to put it just before that transient. I don't want to affect that at all. So I'm going to get whatever I can, probably about there. Check your work. That's the best snare roll we had, but that's what we got. Cool. Crossfade's in a good spot. Gonna go to the end. Zoom all the way in. Ha ha ha. Early kick hit. So how can we fix that? Let's take a listen to what's going on. Well, let's see. Maybe we do that. Nope, we don't do that. So I'm trying to have it so that the snare has enough ring out, but the cymbals still sound cohesive all the way through. You can hear a slight little bit of crash trying to come through. And I have a snare top and a snare bottom. I don't want to like disable the group. Why is that group 2? What's in group 1? I can't remember. I don't want to do something like this where I grab both of my snares and I move just these, because then there can be phase issues. Maybe I can get away with it this time. Again, always check your work. We might be able to get away with this. So I'm trying to, because if we listen to just the snares and like what's going on in here and the bleed, you can hear it. You can hear that crash cymbal happening in the snare. You can. Okay, there it goes. So if I bring this right up to there, maybe we can get away with it. See, Bob's coming, lost me way back. Layers to me are takes. Yes, exactly, they are. And I have no clue as to how I use all takes. Lest I splice them. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, Bobs, is we're taking... I recorded these drums, and I did a bad job at not writing something before I went and recorded it, only because I was on a time crunch and I needed to. So when I say takes or when I say layers in Studio One, it's the same thing. Cool? Cool. Takes, layers, happy. When you're using all of these different layers or takes, that's the whole idea, is you want to make sure that you get the best performance. So if you did a better job of a part in one take, which is on one layer, that's why they're the same, then I'm going to take that and make that my main take. You're the highlighted one. You're the one that people are going to hear. All of the ones that are hidden underneath, nobody will hear them. In every DAW, whatever the top layer is, whichever one you can see when everything is collapsed, that's the one people will hear. For all of the ones underneath, those are just backups. That's different takes. It's on different layers. So you can go in and say like, well, I did a better job for verse 2 on take 5, but the pre-chorus after that was better on take 6. Arbitrary numbers, doesn't matter. So yes, you do need to splice them together. It doesn't have to be cohesive, one shot all the way through. I couldn't even play this song that I wrote one time all the way through. I just couldn't. I was making it up on the spot. But the end product is going to sound like I knew what I was doing because I'm splicing them all together. I hope that helps, Bob. Joe? Mama. Really? Thanks for coming and hanging out anyway. Let's get back into it. Bob, I hope that helps out. Let's go back to our snares and see if we can sneak away with having it ring out on its own. I wouldn't recommend doing this because, like Bob said before, you can get some weird phase stuff in your drums, especially when you process them later. Maybe like some compression or stuff like that will really bring it forward. We might be able to sneak through this one this time. Don't worry about the timing, how I'm a little early on this hit. Don't worry about that. I'm early on this hit too. I'm early on a lot of these. Okay, so maybe we can get away with that. Okay, I'm going to put my groups back on, and I do want to try something. I do want to do a little bit of slip editing before we commit things. Slip editing is this tool. I'm going to hold down Command and Option on a Mac. That would be Control and Alt on a PC, and you get this tool. And with this tool, we're just looking at the green event right now. Here's my snare hit. So like if we're looking at this snare hit, I'm early because here's beat 2 and it's just a simple 2/4 snare. Everything's grouped together. Command, Option, Control, Alt. Get this tool, slide. What I'm doing is I'm sliding the audio in the event, and I'm just going to do it here. Whoop. So like I'm sliding the audio in the event without changing the size of the event. And you can, when you're doing stuff like this, you can do a little bit of slip editing to lock your timing in just a little bit better. And you kind of have to, I'm looking at like everything right now. I'm looking at my kick hits because everything's grouped. I'm looking at where my snares are landing. The roll starts right at the bar now. I'm a little bit late there, but I'm not too worried. So now, let me go back and listen because I'm already seeing, here's our double hit. I'd rather be behind here. So this edit might come back to here and we'll figure something out. And listen to this. Listen to the kick. I didn't play a brr. That's double hits because of a bad edit. And that's why when you listen to it here, it just sounds like it's going boom, and just kind of like hitting you a little bit harder. It's because of that double hit, and we'll have to clean that up. My group is off. What I'm going to do is, oops, my group is not off. All of my things were selected. That's why. I'm going to grab this edit and bring them back here. So now, zoomed in. Everybody's lined up again, right? Right. So, now we put our group back on. Let's try that. I think there was a cymbal thing going on. Yeah. Okay. We will certainly have to do a little bit of trickery here. What do we want to do? I think we can, oh, can we not? That crash. This is going to be a tricky one. Okay. I'm going to disable the group, and I do not suggest doing this, but I just want to get rid of that kick hit just before here. Whoops, wrong way. Because I don't want a double hit there. And now put the group off again. And again, if you can avoid doing this, try to. Things can get squirrely here. But for such a small amount of time, I think I can get away with this. There's probably supposed to be a kick hit here. This is why we check our edits. Oops. Group. Okay, well there's my kick hit. Bring it to, oops, did I just choke that snare off? I think I did. Out, zoop, yep. I'm gonna bring it right up to that snare. Listen for continuity. Other than the speed difference, you know, let's try going out, see if we can really cover it up. Not so much. Let's go way out. maybe there where there's like another downbeat. Oh, we could probably get away with that. I think we can get away with that. We could try coming back to here. Nope. Maybe. Yeah, no. $143. I think that's our winner. But there we go. That seems way better. Now I just want to find this snare hit right before it. There we go. Cool. I'm happy with that. Let's check this, which I think is also good. Yep, that carries over. There's clearly a problem here. So let's find all of this snare hit. Make sure we're not double transienting. We're not. I think this was the same take, right? Take 7, right? Yep, that says take 7. Let's find this. Take 7. Delete. No more crossfade. Now I'm not worried about a crossfade in there. What I do need to do is this. I'm going to take that guy, bring him over. Let's do like that. I want to check my toms, make sure I'm not choking anything on my toms. So like that would be bringing in an early hit. And I think I can get away with a fade like that. Just want the tom hits because I like the way the cymbals are hitting right at this last blue one, but I need to go from there because there was a double. I could hear double transients on that kick. Cool. So there we go again, fully comped, and we checked our edits. Drum take. Cool. We still didn't fly this. We were going to steal this guy. Ready? Just using the folder. From there to there. What I'm going to do is a little sneaky, delete that guy, grab this guy, and fly that over. Oops, wrong hit. This is supposed to be, oops. Now let's see if we can steal this guy. Nope, not that one. Put everything back to the way it was. We need to fly in. Maybe from right here. Chop, chop. 4 bars, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Borrowed. Let's see how that works. Oh, I keep forgetting that that's supposed to be happening there. Okay. Well, we flew in our crash symbols, but maybe not in the best way. I don't know if we're going to be able to fly those symbols in. I'm going to have to come back to that one. Mika Han, doesn't Studio One have crossfade curve presets? The default fades are not equal power crossfades. Not that I'm aware of, Mika. Don't get me wrong. I would prefer some equal power over equal gain, like it is. So what Mika's asking. Hang on, let me just undo a couple things because it looks like I did. Oh yeah, okay, now we're good. So what Mika is asking is it when you have a crossfade, much like this. This is an equal. This is an equal gain crossfade. It's very linear. The volume of the first take is going out, and at the center point here, the volume of the second take is coming up, and they have equal gain at this point. You can, however, alter this to be more logarithmic, and this is more of an equal power. Or I think maybe I have those backed up. Right, this is equal power. Equal gain is the linear. Equal power is a logarithmic kind of crossfade like this, where it's a more gentle kind of curve to your fade. And honestly, I think Mika would probably agree with me, is a bit more natural sounding. For really small ones like this, I mean, Mika, what we could do, let me just undo a bunch of this real quick. What we could do is select everything and grab a fade and create it into an equal power, because then when you go to your next one, and we'll just take one of these, for example, they're all equal power now. Now what Mika is asking, see, I just undid, boop, boop, beep, boop. What Mika is asking is if we can change what like our default is. I don't think that we have that ability right now. I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it's something we have right now. I gotta keep moving down. Just don't want to have to modify the curve every time. I know, I hear you, Mika. Honestly, doing something like this when it's grouped and then doing one would do all of them at the same time. It is an extra step. I agree. Notice when you were sliding a crossfade point around the symbols, the track levels were dropping off. That's the crossfade. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. With an equal power fade, you wouldn't hear that because the ring of the other cymbals would have the same power as the ones you're editing. Let's see, pattern swap. Take from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just gonna steal these. And other than a bad edit with no crossfade, and you can hear that there's no crossfade because it went, and you hear the snap. Now we've flown it in. Let's check that. I'm just looking and gonna listen to this edit. I definitely don't want that. Turning off my group. I can't go back because I'm gonna lose my fill. Maybe I can go over this way. Again, no crossfade. We'll just pop one in. We need to do something like that. I think I changed the pattern again. Find that. Okay, I think that'll work. There was a slight change in the cymbals. Get rid of these now. Slight change in the cymbals. Oh. Try coming back to here. Slight change in the cymbals. Again, I think I can get away with it. This is tedious work. You have it right, Mika. But it's also something that not a lot of people talk about. This isn't the glorious part of making records, but it's one of the most important parts. Also, saving. Saving is one of the most important parts. So can you just eliminate crossfade? I do tight edits in high res and usually no clicks. I always put crossfades because you never know. I would much rather have a crossfade that will absolutely guarantee every single time that there's never going to be any clicks or pops, because it's not audio happening instantly, especially when we're sliding our transients around, when there's audio from like the cymbals that bleed over from take to take. Always, always, always put a crossfade in. I understand that there's that 0 point edit. I may or may not have it on. I honestly don't know right now. And that's where the edits always fall, where the waveform is at 0. So there is no chance of anything popping through. But I, again, would much rather just have a crossfade in there, because then I know for a fact it is never going to click or pop. I'm going to catch up with you guys all real quick. So let's go like this, because I like talking to you big. Music in motion, I'll probably see you later. He's already gone by now. Tim should have hired a session drummer for these takes. Thanks, DJ Big Red. I'm out of practice, right? Yeah, the phase will disappear. Yeah. Blades, I think it's easier to resolve all of these at the MIDI level before committing to audio tracks. Then there is less to deal with on the crossfade stuff. Blades, these were live drums, buddy. These were live drums, not MIDI. But, yeah, I mean, MIDI drums, no problems at all. Group events before rendering. Yep. Okay. Yep. Now everything's grouped anyway. Okay. I'm caught up with you guys. Let's do some stuff. So there was this, and I think the problem was just I stopped playing. Yeah. That's really going to have to be the best. Which really stinks. Because that symbol just dies. Ah. Oh, that stinks. I'll admit, that part stinks. Because I just stopped playing. What a rookie amateur. I will absolutely admit, this one is real rough. Wonder if I can steal it from back here. I don't know if I can. Maybe here. Probably not. Definitely not. Definitely cannot. Oh. Things to watch for when you're recording. Continuity and knowing what you're playing. Man, that's tough to listen to. Ooh, boy. Rookie amateur. because even the floor time just dies. And I mean, like, I could do this. I could do that. I don't really want to. I could even kind of get away. Oh, I don't want to do this because then things are going to get possibly phasey. It's real fast, but again... Oh, man. Real dicey stuff I'm doing. I do not recommend doing it like this. I really don't. Can't you turn the live drums into MIDI with Studio One? Yeah, I absolutely could, but I want to keep these as live drums as much as I can and just enhance with samples. I don't want to completely replace, because then what's the point of playing it? I took the time to do it. May as well make it sound the best. Know what I mean? Cool. I really think that that is going to be the best it's going to be. And it's a shame. Okay, so we've duplicated this. I actually kind of want to play it real safe again. Duplicate it again. I don't care. And then bounce. Did it really do everything but the kick drum? Why would you do that? Let's just undo. Turn my group back on. That's... because it's on a different layer. Undo, undo. There. I did my layers without my groups on. That's why. Well, safety again. I'd rather be safe. Let me just undo, duplicate again, do it again. This many audio files is not going to like bog down my hard drive. It's not that much. But now I have nice continuous drums. Then we get to the really fun thing of editing for timing. Now, there are macros that we could do. Audio editing, align transients. I'm on an 1/8 note grid, and I'm curious what it's going to do. What do you think? Should we push the button? It's underneath my face. What am I thinking? Hang on. Why can't I move my face? Oh, because that's why. Shoom. Right here. Align transients. What do you think? Should we push it? Should we push the button? Isolated, there are issues, but with the rest of the track, you probably won't notice. Yeah, I agree. It's probably not going to be that bad. I'm going to do it. You ready? I'm going to do it. So what this is doing is it's going through a macro. And in this macro, it's detecting all of the transients, and then it's going to quantize it. So this is going to be locked onto the grid. It's going to put in extra crossfades. It's going to split everything. I mean, my computer's probably freaking out right now. My voice might be sounding a little weird. There it goes. It's quantizing. And now it's bouncing it again. Let's hear it. Mika's saying, let's hear it. Okay, let's hear it. Ooh, I'm just going to stop it there. All right, well, let's do this first. I'm just going to open this up. So this is what just happened in the macro. Dissolve any audio parts. Detect the transients, and that's using the bend markers. So detect your transients, split at the bend markers, quantize, fill the gaps, create crossfades, bounce a selection, and then deselect everything. And I will be honest, boy, could have omitted those. I could have, but honestly, even in the beginning, like right from the first bits here, there's like little clicks that I'm hearing, just little, like it's cutting off something because it filled the gaps and it put in the crossfades. But I mean, I hear it. And it would annoy me because I'm hearing extra little sound flicks, I guess we'll call them. And it might be in this snare. Like that doesn't sound right to me. So here we go. Undo. All right. I have to do all of the undos because it's a macro, so it's a bunch of different steps, and I have to undo from all of those. This is why you create backup layers. You duplicate your layer, and then you already have a backup. But look at what it did to that snare. Like shoved everything way over. That's not great. Now, what I might do... No. This is why it's tedious. So here's all the analyzing, and here's where we started. If we go back to the bend, and we do standard and analyze all these, it's the same process we had before. It's missing some snare hits here, which is why it was kind of weird in the snare rolls. So like it's missing some of these transients. You know, I could adjust this, but I mean, I'm all the way up and it's still missing a couple snare hits in here. And it's picking up bleed. So, you know, good, not perfect. So I wouldn't use bend markers. In this situation, I wouldn't use bend markers. I would go in and, you know, because everything's together, what I can do is just do a little shift dance here to make sure that guy is like right on. And then I start going in and finding everything. And then it comes the real meticulous part. Usually when I like do drum edits, I spend a couple hours doing it, maybe 2 hours to actually do it. And, you know, we've been doing it live together. So I've been explaining the whole process. Like once you do it a lot, you're pretty quick at it, but it is a long, tedious process. long, tedious process. So here's the raw drums, only slightly adjusted to start exactly on bar 11. And if you want, we'll experiment real quick. Let's go back in, and we'll use. Let's reanalyze. Whoop. Nino, while this is doing that, and E-Nice is here. What's up, E-Nice? Secret came in a little while ago. C-Ray Beats, redo everything. Yeah, going over the rolls. Everybody's here. This is a trial. Relax on your drumming. It's a faster song, Bop. I don't know it's coming from slapback delay or the quantize, but I just put it back to natural. I did. I think it's phase issues. It wasn't phase. It was, bad transient detection from the bend markers and not great edits. I'll admit, not great edits. We have our bends in here. So now we can go to our bend markers and whoop, we can do slight changes here and there. Find where things need to get tightened up, so I'm just selecting my snares. It is doing everything, but I'm just concentrating on making sure that my snares are landing exactly where they need to, because I don't want this thing to be totally robotic. Like this kick hit is a bit off. This snare is way off. Why is that snare way off? This kick is supposed to be over. Whoop. Where'd you go? Nope. That. There. So yeah, then it comes the meticulous thing of bending the audio. This is one way of doing it, is using your audio bend options. You can also do it the other way, where you go in and you just make your cuts. Let me go back to my smart tool. So let's just go way further in the song. Somewhere over here where we're not in the beginning. So like this snare. Okay, well, that's not on. Make a cut. Where do I get back on again? That snare. So now I can take this, fill that out, find these things, take those, take that, crossfade. Meticulous. Obviously, I would save all the crossfades for the ends and just kind of lock everything in. A little early on this one, a little late on that one. So, drum editing. Extraordinarily meticulous. It takes a long time, but once you're done, you are done. And everybody else who's in the band can lock to this drum performance, which you have created to be the best performance that you can get, and locked it in as much to the grid as you want. I wouldn't go 100%, but a lot of people out there can and will. Do you typically do the bend marker method or the manual edit method? Generally speaking, manual, because I can go in and adjust those crossfades. And I mean, the bend method is really good. I haven't used it that much. I might experiment with this one. Sometimes with the elastic with the bending of the audio, it can get real artifacty, where if I just do the manual edits, I just have to make sure that the crossfades are nice. And if the crossfades are nice, then I'm not like manipulating time in this recorded audio. I'm just filling in the gaps. So, you know, when I used to edit a bunch of drums, I would do it the manual way, and I was real fast at it, and I could get it done and make sure it was like natural sounding. I just need to experiment with the bend markers some more. But there's plenty of people out there who only edit with bend markers, or people out there who only edit manual. You find out what's comfortable for you. That would be a good show. Bend. Might not be a bad idea. Maybe that's what we do next week, because I'm going to be honest, it's late, getting kind of tired. I think we're going to call it for this week. So, first things first, I'm going to do it again. Join the Discord. Ta-da! There's a link in the description. I got to put my arm here because I think I got to put a thing behind it, whatever. In the Discord, there's all kinds of fun chats that we have. Talk about video suggestions, looking for help, collaborators, you know. It's a growing community, so welcome you all to come join. There's a link in the description. Link in the description of this video for you guys to join the Discord and just help grow the community. I'm going to catch up with you guys because I know you were going way off, and I got to catch up with them. I'll have to hear these on monitors tomorrow. The living room surround is missing some things, apparently. Okay. Let's see. After 18 years of Pro Tools, I'm finally getting to your message there, Nino. I migrated to Studio One a year ago, and I'm loving it. Hugs from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Nino, thanks for joining from Sao Paulo. Or rebounds from the other mics. Welcome. Yes, absolutely welcome. I have read that some big guns will time delay the drum mics in milliseconds. Yeah, you can. I wouldn't worry about that. What's the grid? I run at least... right now, the grid is 1/8 notes, because I'm not doing anything faster than that. I'm maybe 16th notes for like some of these rolls, but I don't care that much. Because I think I'm just going to go in and do it. Now that I've comped a take, I can just go in and just... And honestly, I can do it kind of fast, because if we go in real quick... Like, one thing I can do from here is be off the grid, and, you know, you can... I'm on here, and I'm trying to tab to my transients. So, tab, cut, tab, cut. You know, so I can go to all of my hits, and then, like, I can quantize them if I want. I'm not going to do that right now. And same thing with, like, my snares. I can go here, tab. There's a snare. Cut. Well, I don't know why it went to that. That's a kick drum. Cut. Oh. Well, that's a bit of an oversight. Because I'm highlighting my snare here because I want to tab to transients on that. But when I make my cut, ooh, that's... I can make a macro real quick. I don't want to, but I could. See, that one seems on. This one seems a little early. Oops, I'm not zooming in. Yeah, so like, but like when I make my cut, it automatically selects the next track. Not a huge fan of that. I'm gonna say. Not a big fan of what just happened there. Quantize. Ooh, that was bad. That was bad. I gotta remove all those bend markers because it was trying to quantize all those bend markers. That's why. All right. That's where we're gonna call it. Again, thank you for coming and hanging out on this I'm crashing. I'm tired. You know why? Because I woke up at like 6 this morning. That's where everything's catching up with me. Earlier in the chat are links to the Midnight Bar. If you guys want to continue the conversation, head over to Zoom and hang out with Music to Motion and Ziggy and everybody else that's going to be joining the Midnight Bar over there. Join the Discord. There's a link in the description for that. Also, there's other links in there that kind of help the channel grow. So if you guys are looking for some plugins or anything, there are links down in the description that can help you grow your plugin collection. I'm just going to catch up with your chats real quick, but then we're going to get out of here. Also, would you handle doing drum edits on a day that you have to record more than just drums? Send the band out for lunch for an hour to do so and then get the drums edited? Yes, that's typically what I do. If I'm trying to do a song in a day with a band, which I have done, you don't even go this meticulous in. You clean up whatever you can. You say, yes, go get lunch, bring me something back. Because, you know, when they're recording guitars or whatever, you can, you know, just scarf on a sandwich. Send them out, cut it up so that it's pretty close. And as you do it more and more, you'll get real good. And you can do both, like, you know, not just the kicks and snares, but like you can really tighten everything up. Or like not just the snares. You can really tighten up everything. Could just move the snare to the top. Yeah, I could. I just did. But I don't, like, I'm doing something off screen right now. Yeah, it's still just, yeah, I still think that that's a minor flaw that, because right now I have two things selected. If I go to here and I do that, even still, if I make a cut when I have two tracks selected, it still just highlights the top track. I'll probably put a ticket in because that seems a little silly. If I have a selection, keep my selection. All right, that's all for, that's all for now. Again, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves and everybody else. And until next week, good night.